Good evening, students. Fine. As per your request, we'll go with a synopsis of few chapters. And we have already completed the third paper revision. Okay. Yeah. So the first chapter, let me take the synopsis on the very first chapter. That is electric charges and the field. Electric charges and field. Yeah. You know that basically the charges are quantized. So charges are quantized means Q is equal to N into E. So how many electrons will constitute a charge of 1 coulomb? For a charge of 1 coulomb, the number of electrons is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So for 1 coulomb, how many electrons are going to constitute? You have to calculate. This is the charge of the electron. This is Q. They have given 1 coulomb. For this, how to find out the number of electrons? Number of electrons is calculated by using Q by E. On simplification of this, you will get 6.25 into 10 power 18 electrons. So please remember this. For 1 coulomb of charge, how many electrons are there? 6.25 into 10 power 18 electrons are there. Yeah. So this is the basic formula. Now, if I consider the two bodies here, one is body A, the another one is the body B. If the electron is moving from body A to body B, if electrons are moving from body A to body B, body A will become positive charge, body B will become negative charge. But please remember, the mass of the body A will decreases, but the mass of the body A will increases. So if any body loses the electron, its mass has to decrease. If any body gains the electron, means its mass has to increase. Coming to the next concept. You have studied the concept of the Coulomb's law. After analyzing these basic properties of charges, you have analyzed the Coulomb's law. Let us say this is the charge Q1. This is the another charge Q2, separated by a distance R. Then, what is the force between the 2 point charges? Force between the 2 point charges is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1, Q2 divided by R square. So this is completely filled with which medium? Air or a vacuum. Suppose if you are using with some dielectric medium, not completely air medium, it is completely filled with some dielectric medium. Then the force is given by the formula F equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1, Q2 by R squared. One term will be extra, that is called K. This K is constant called the dielectric constant. What is that K called? K is a constant called the dielectric constant. Now, please remember this value of K is always more than 1 for dielectrics. Value of K is more than 1 for dielectrics. And the value of K is going to be infinity for metals. For metals, K value is infinity. For dielectrics, K value is more than 1. Suppose, if I consider the 2 point charges Q1 and Q2, They are separated by a distance r. Now, there is one metallic slab here. This metallic slab is going to be have a thickness T and the dielectric constant K. But remember, the remaining space is filled with air. The remaining space is filled with air. In this case, the force is given by the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R minus T plus T root K whole squared. R minus T plus T root K whole square. So this is the force when there is both air medium as well as other than air medium. It has both the mediums. In such case, the force is given by the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 divided by R minus T plus T root K whole squared. And also please remember, if you want to find the force vector, force acting on one due to the second charge, then it is given by the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R squared into R cap, where unit vector should act from second charge to first charge. So this is in vector form. Please remember, force acting on the first charge due to the second charge is equal and opposite to the force acting on the second charge due to the first charge. So F12 vector is equal to minus F21 vector. Now, let us take the another important concept. There is a charge capital Q here. I'm going to divide these two charges into two parts. I'm going to divide the charge capital Q into two parts, that is Q1 and Q2. Now, what I'm going to say, if the force is going to act maximum, if force is maximum, please remember, in order to get the force maximum between these 2 point charges Q1 and Q2, please remember these two charges Q1 and Q2 must be equal to half of the charge. If the charge is divided equally, then the force is going to be maximum. So Q1 is equal to Q2, that should be equal to Q divided by 2. So if the force between the 2 point charges is maximum, means the charge has to divide equally, that is Q1 is equal to Q2, that should be equal to Q by 2. So when the force is maximum, the force is going to be maximum if the two charges are going to divide equally. So Q1 should be equal to Q2, that should be equal to Q divided by 2. So the force is going to be maximum if Q1 is equal to Q2, that is equal to Q by 2. Then what is the formula for the electric field intensity? Electric field intensity is given by the formula force experienced to the charge. So E is equal to F by Q. So this implies F is equal to Q into E. So the force experienced by the charged particle in the electric field is given by what? F is equal to Q into E, where E is the electric intensity, Q is the charge, F is the force. Then what is the expression we got for electric intensity for a point charge? For point charge, electric intensity is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R square. This is the electric intensity for point charge. And remember, electric intensity is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2PR divided by R square minus A square whole square. Actually, this is the electric intensity for the dipole. If it is a short dipole, then we can write this as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2p by r cube for short dipole. So this is the electric field on the axis of dipole. Good evening, Tanushri. Good evening, Dhanlakshmi.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Okay. As you asked the formulas list in the last class, I'm giving that formula list. If you have any doubt, please ask me, okay? Yeah. So for the
Okay, sir.
for the axis of the dipole, what is the electric field formula? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2p by r cube. For the equatorial line, electric field is given by the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into p divided by r cube. So please remember, electric field is inversely proportional to r cube for dipole. But for point charge, electric field is inversely proportional to r square. They have asked this type of questions. Please remember, for point charge, electric field is inversely proportional to r square. For electric dipole, electric intensity is inversely proportional to r cube. Now, what is the electric field intensity for the linear charged wire? For linear charged wire, it is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 times of lambda divided by r. For linear charged wire, electric field intensity is given by the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 lambda by r. This is the electric intensity on equatorial line. What is the electric field intensity for plane sheet? For plane sheet, it is given by sigma divided by 2 pi epsilon naught, 2 epsilon naught. This is for plane sheet. For spherical shell, electric field intensity is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R square. This is for the spherical shell. Spherical shell. If I consider one spherical shell, what is the electric field intensity inside the spherical shell? electric field intensity on the inside the spherical shell is 0. Inside the spherical shell, electric field is going to be 0. And on the electric dipole, the torque acting is given by the formula tau is equal to PE into sine theta. So torque acting on the electric dipole is given by the formula tau is equal to PE sine theta. When the torque is going to be maximum and minimum, they will ask the question. Theta will be 90 degree, then the torque is going to be maximum. If theta equals to 0 degree, then the torque is going to be what? Minimum. Yeah. How the problems are going to be asked on this? Suppose if I give the plane sheets like this. This plane sheet is having charge plus sigma. This is having -2 sigma. And this is having minus sigma. These are the plane sheets. Now I want to find what is the electric field intensity at this point P upper. Yeah, at this point P, I should find what is the electric field intensity. How many plates are there upper? 3 plates are there. First plate, second plate, and the third plate. Now can you tell me how to find the electric field at this particular point? Can you tell me how to find the electric field at this particular point? Yes, Dhanlakshmi? At least can you tell me how many fields will act at this point P? Three electric fields will act at the point P. For the first plate, it will be diverging. For the second plate also it is diverging. For the third plate also it is diverging. Why it is diverging, converging? Because for positive charge, it is moving outward. For negative charge, it is converging. For negative charge, it is converging. So all the 3 fields are acting downward, right? If all the 3 fields are acting downward, can you tell me what is the electric field because of the first plate? Because of the first plate, it is plus sigma, right? So sigma by 2 epsilon naught. For second plate, surface charge density is 2 sigma, no, Dhanlakshmi. So it is 2 sigma by 2.
Yes, sir.
E3, E3 is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. How all these 3 fields are acting? Same direction. If all the 3 fields are acting in the same direction, net electric field value should be added up, no? Sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus 2 sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So on simplification, you will get to know 2 epsilon naught is the LCM. So it will be 4 sigma. So it will be 2 times of sigma by epsilon naught. So this is the net electric field because of this diagram. Got it? They will ask this type of questions for your NEET exam. Artha aitappa Tanushri? I hope you are getting, right? Yeah. Good, Tanushri. Now, the second problem will be asked like this. Now, there is 2 pendulum bobs. There will be 2 pendulum bobs here. Now, because of the like charges, these 2 pendulum bob will ripple. This 2 pendulum bob will ripple because of the like charges. then the angle made them will be theta, here also theta. Okay. Now the charge is initially is Q. Now this charge is leaking at constant rate. Charge is leaking at constant rate. If charge is leaking at constant rate, what will happen? This pendulum bob will start coming closer to each other. When it comes to close to each other, let us say the separation will be x. It is coming closer to each other with some velocity v. Now they will ask how velocity depend on x. How velocity varies with distance. They will ask this question. Very important problem for NEET exam. Please remember, they have asked so many times. 2 times they have asked recently. Now, whenever this is moving downward, you know that the downward force mg should balance with the t cos theta, isn't it? T cos theta should balance with mg. Similarly, this left side force t sin theta should balance with the force that is k into product of the charge q squared by distance squared x squared. If I divide this to equation, it will be tan theta equals to k into q squared by x squared by mg. If I divide this to. Look at this diagram. It is something like this. This is x by 2. This will be theta. This length I will take it as length L of the pendulum. Length of the pendulum. Can you tell me what is tan theta? If theta is small, you can treat tan theta close to sin theta. Tan theta is close to sin theta. So this tan theta will become sin theta. Sin theta is opposite by hypotenuse. So it will be x by 2 by L, which is equal to k by mg into q squared by x squared. On cross multiplication, x into x squared will be x cube. That is proportional to q squared. The rest of the parameters are all constants. So x and q are related. X cube is directly proportional to q squared. So I can tell q is directly proportional to x power 3 by 2. Now I will differentiate this. What is the differentiation of dq by dt? What is the differentiation of x by x power 3 by 2? Roslyn, you can tell the differentiation of this? 3 by 2, x power 1 by 2, no, 3 by 2 minus 1 into dx by dt. What is this dx by dt? Velocity, no. dq by dt is constant. They have given that charge is leaking at the constant rate. So this clearly tell v is inversely proportional to x power half. If I take to numerator, it will be x power minus half. So how the velocity and x are related? Velocity is directly proportional to x power 1 by 2. Please remember this concept. If the two pendulum bobs are approaching, with what velocity it will approach? That velocity is always directly proportional to x power minus 1 by 2. Got it? Dhanlakshmi, any doubt in this problem?
No, sir.
Yeah, this is very important problem. They will ask so many times. They have asked so many times. 2-3 times they have given this type of problem. Yeah. Let us take up the second chapter, Appa. For the second chapter, let me concentrate on the important formula and frequently asked questions. Potential and capacitance. Now, what is the basic formula for electric potential? For point charge, potential is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r squared. Sorry, q by r. The same formula can be written in terms of q sigma r divided by epsilon naught. Please have a look. Potential is inversely proportional to distance if charge is constant. If sigma is constant, how potential and distance are related? Directly proportional. Sigma constant idre, potential is directly proportional to distance. Remember this two formula. This is not there in the direct formula. You are familiar with the first formula if you know the charge. Suppose if they have given sigma, then you must know how to calculate the potential. That is given by sigma r divided by what? Epsilon naught. What is the potential formula for the dipole? It is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into P divided by R square. This is 2 times. Or you can neglect this constant. Please remember, potential is inversely proportional to distance. Potential proportional to distance squared. Inversely proportional to distance means it is for point charge. Inversely proportional to R squared means it is for electric dipole. And one more thing you have to remember, students, for the equatorial line, the potential is going to be 0. For equatorial line, potential is always going to be what? 0. Then what is the formula for the potential energy for 2 point charges? It is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1, Q2 by R12. This is for system of 2 charges. For a system of 3-point charges, potential energy is given by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1, Q2 by R12. Then you have to go for the second combination. Q2, Q3 by R23 plus third combination. Q3, Q1 by R31. This is the potential energy for 3 system. What is the potential energy for dipole? It is PE into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. And one more thing, students, you have to be very careful here. The basic definition for potential is nothing but work done by the charge. And one more point you have to remember here. Suppose if I consider n drops. If I consider n drops, radius of each drop is smaller, charge on each drop is small q, Vs is the potential of the smaller drop. Now, I'm going to combine these small drops into a bigger drop, Appa. Big drop ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು drop ಇದೆ ಇವಾಗ. N drops ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Now, n drops are combined to form what? One big drop. Let us say capital R is the radius of the bigger drop, capital Q is the charge, and VB is the potential of the bigger drop. Now, charge on the bigger drop is how many times, Appa? N times of Q. And can you tell me what is the radius of the bigger drop? Anushri, radius of the bigger drop is tappa?
NR.
NR ಅಲ್ಲ, n power 1 by 3R. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಿದನ್ನ ಇವಾಗ. ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ n times of R ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾತ್ರ n times of Q ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಬಂದು n power 1 by 3 times of small r ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Please remember this. Derivation ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ ಇವಾಗ, because it will kill the time if I start deriving all these things. ಮತ್ತೆ potential of the bigger drop, Appa? Rosaline, can you tell me what is the potential of the bigger drop? Potential of the bigger drop will becomes how many times? N power 1 by 3 whole square times of Vs. n power 1 by 3 whole squared times of Vs. I will give one example then, Lakshmi, for you. If I consider 27 drops, how many drops I'm combining?
27.
Yeah. If I say the single drop potential is 0.5 volt, what is the potential of single drop?
0.5 volt.
Yeah. Suppose if I combine this into a bigger drop, can you tell me what will be the potential of the bigger drop?
Twenty-seven per 1 by 3 whole
What is
square.
cube root of 27 upon that, Lakshmi?
3.
3 ಅಲ್ಲ n power 1 by 3
3
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
square.
27 whole power 1 by 3 ಎಷ್ಟದು 3 3 ಗೆ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ
9.
ಸೊ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ
9 into 0.5.
9 times of vs ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್
0.5.
this is 4.5. so this is very important shortcut formula you have to remember. ಇದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. now capacitor, come to capacitor appa. What's the basic definition you have studied for capacitance? C is equal to Q by V. This is the basic definition you have studied for capacitance, isn't it? Now, if I give the parallel plate capacitor like this, separation is D, area bandu A. Now this is air medium. Tanushree, capacitance of parallel plate capacitor ಏನಪ್ಪ formula? A epsilon naught by D alva. A epsilon naught by D is the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor. Suppose if I fill with some dielectric constant K instead of A, I'm going to fill with dielectric constant K. Separation ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, distance A ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಹೇಳ್ರೋ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ?
A epsilon R divided by D.
Very good. A epsilon naught by D into that K. So dielectric constant ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ capacitance ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Increases. Good. ಇವಾಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಕಂಡ್ರು. ಇವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಮಾತ್ರ ಡೈಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಥಿಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಟಿ, ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಏರೆ ಡಿ ಎ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಡೈಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏರ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಇದೆ, ದ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಡೈಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್. ಈ ತರ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಎಪ್ಸಿಲಾನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬೈ ಡಿ ಮೈನಸ್ ಟಿ plus T by K. A epsilon naught by D minus T plus T by K. So air medium or dielectric medium eradu idra formula eno? If there is both air medium ಮತ್ತೆ dielectric medium, remember the formula for the capacitance. It is A epsilon naught by D minus T plus T by K. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನ ಎರಡು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನ್ರೋ. ಈ ತರ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಿಂಗ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಿಲ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ K1, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಹಾಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಿಲ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ K2. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏರಿಯಾ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು, A by 2, A by 2. ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಗೂ ಥಿಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ತರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏರಿಯಾ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ A epsilon naught by D into K1 plus K2 by 2. What is the capacitance formula, pa? A epsilon naught by D into K1 plus K2 by 2. Area divide ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದೇ ತರ thickness divide ಆದ್ರೆ D by 2, D by 2. First half is filled with K1, second half is filled with K2. What is the capacitance formula actually? A epsilon naught by D, bracket ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತಪ್ಪ? 2K1 K2 by K1 plus K2. Please remember this. Thickness ಅಲ್ಲಿ divide ಆದ್ರೆ formula ಏನು? A epsilon naught by D into 2 times of K1 K2 by K1 plus K2. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಇದು? ಏರಿಯಾ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆದ್ರೆ K1 plus K2 by 2. Thickness ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆದ್ರೆ 2 times K1 K2 by K1 plus K2. Next ಅಪ್ಪ, ಇದೊಂದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ C1. I will charge this to potential V1. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಇದೆ C2. Potential is V2. Now I will disconnect this two and I will connect the capacitors like this. C1, C2. ಈ ತರ connect ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ now there will be a common potential here. Please remember what is that common potential. Common potential. So how to find the common potential? Common potential is given by the formula C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. So common potential is given by the formula C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. Now, whenever these two capacitors are connected like this, definitely there will be a loss of energy. There will be a loss of energy. How to find that loss of energy over here? The loss of energy is equal to, loss of energy is given by the formula of times of C1 C2 by C1 plus C2 into V1 minus V2 whole square. So this is the shortcut formula you have to remember to find the loss in energy. So of times of C1 C2 by C1 plus C2 into V1 minus V2 whole square. So this is the loss in energy when the two capacitors are connected in parallel. You have to remember all these shortcut formulas, Appa, because what is the duration of your exam? What is the exam duration that Lakshmi for NEET?
So 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. Now you have to properly maintain the time management here. That is very important. That is very, very important. Now, as per the question paper pattern, you will be having biology. How many questions? Totally, you will be having 100 questions, but out of 100, you have to attend only 90. Then you have to talk about chemistry, 50 questions. You have to answer 45. In physics, 50 question, 45 you have to write. So, as soon as you get the question paper, try to attend the bio paper first. Because basically bio paper is going to be always, maximum it is going to be a memory based question. 3 to 4% will be going to be like a thinking. It is about critical thinking. But maximum question is going to be based on memory based. So as soon as you read the question, you will come to know the answer. No need to do the calculations part, everything over there. So it is completely based on the theory concepts. So, and completely the question is going to be based on NCERT. It is completely based on NCERT. So if you know the keywords in the NCERT, so please remember the keywords in NCERT. So whatever the keywords you are remembering in NCERT, based on that keywords only they are going to frame the question. So you have to be concentrate much on keywords by using the NCERT textbook. So if you know the keywords properly from the NCERT textbook, I hope you can attend maximum all the 90 questions. At least you can attend 80 to 85 questions easily. And you know what is the time for this? You know what is the time for this? It is maximum of 40 minutes, not less than that. Maximum 40 minutes. So average, each question you have to solve within 30 seconds. Maximum. And you have to try to attend 80 to 85 questions here. Because all questions is completely from NCERT book only. It will not go away from the NCERT textbook. And after this, come to the chemistry part. Little bit tough in physical chemistry, where you have to solve the problems. But make sure inorganic is going to be a quietly theory-based concepts. Little bit tricky questions will be there from organic, because you have to remember the reaction, naming reactions, elements, and everything. You have to remember that. That is also requires practice for you. So here try to attend some 30 to 35 questions here. To attend this 30 to 35 question, you have to make use of time 1 hour. You have to make use of time 1 hour. Use complete 1 hour for chemistry. Coming to the deciding factor. Deciding factor is decided by the physics only. As you know that out of 45 questions, minimum 40 questions are based on numericals. So the capacity of solving the numerical very fast. Solving the numerical very fast. You have to build that concepts. So if you solve maximum of 25 questions in physics, you can use the time of for 1 hour. You can solve easily 25 questions in 1 hour. I'm talking for the tough paper. So in 1 hour, you can easily go with 25 questions. So 35 questions plus 25, it is 60. Here you are going to attend for 80 questions. So almost you have attended 140 questions into 4 marks. So it is already crossed 560. So with minimum of 560, definitely you can get the medical set. Last year, I think, I hope it is cutoff is 590 or 580 something. For general merit, I'm talking. So if you get 560, 570 around, definitely you're going to get a medical seat in the Karnataka itself. So this is how you have to maintain the discipline. Target is 25 questions in physics, 35 questions in chemistry, 80 questions in biology. This is very important. And sir, in physics, can't we go like 40 questions, 35 questions? Definitely you can go. But for that, it will require a practice. For example, I will give the capacitance like this, Appa. Something I will give the capacitance like this. All capacitance are equal to, like I say, let us say like this. This is A and this is B. Now, how to manage the time for these questions? Usually what the students will do, students ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಪ್ಪ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎರಡು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್, ಈ ಎರಡು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಇದು ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್, ಇದು ಸೀರೀಸ್, ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಹೇಗ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಸಿಪ್ರೋಕಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಪ್ಪ ಧನಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ, ಈ ತರ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ, ಈ ತರ C1 + C2 + C3. ಈಗ ನಾನೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಈ 2C ಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಆಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಡಿಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ 2C ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? It should be more than 2C. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ more than 2C ಬರಬೇಕು? Because 2C is connected in parallel. 2C is connected parallel to this. So 2C ಇದು parallel ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗ್ಲೂ more than 2C ಬರಬೇಕು. ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 2C ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. 4 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 2C ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 2C ಇರುತ್ತೋ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಇವಾಗ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಈ ತರ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ವರ್ಗು. ಎ ಬಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ 1 1 1 1 1 1 ಇದೆ. ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ನಾನೇ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, 1 2 0 ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ. ಎನಿ ಗೆಸ್ ಅಪ್ಪ ಧನಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ?
ಸರ್ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ.
ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಯಾಕೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ವರ್ಗು ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೀರಾ?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಪ ಧನಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ?
1.
ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ತಾನೆ?
2 ಸರ್.
ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. 1 ಅಂತೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, 0 ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಐದರ್ 2 ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿನೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಇವೆರಡು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ?
ಸೀರೀಸ್.
1 ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 0.5 ತಾನೆ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1/4
0.25
ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 0.5 ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನಂಬರು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ?
0.
ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ನಂಬರ್ನ ನಾನು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಬರಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 0 ಇದೆ.
2 ಸರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್.
ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವ್ ಈ ತರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ತರ ನೀವು ಗೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಈ ತರ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 50 ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 50 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 40 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಅಪ್ಪ ತನುಶ್ರೀ. ಎಸ್, ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಈ ತರ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಗೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಆ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಸೇವ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ 30 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ವಾ? ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್. ನೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಸಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಈ ತರ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಎ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಿ ಅಂತ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಸಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಸರ್, ಇದನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಹೆಸರಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಏನು ಅಂತ? ಸರ್, ಇದು ವೀಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ತರ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? ವೀಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತಿರೋದು ಹಿಂಗಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್? ನೀವ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರನೇ ಬರತ್ತದು. ನಿಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಈಗ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಎ ಇಂದ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗ ಆಗಿದೆ? 2 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಇದೊಂದು, ಇದೊಂದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಕಡೆದು ಇನ್ನು 2 ಭಾಗ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು 1 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಸಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಸಿ. ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂತು? ಬಿ. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಸೇಮ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ನ ಈ ತರ ಬರೀಬೋದಾ? ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇದು ಗ್ಯಾಲ್ವನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ. ಯು ನೋ ದಟ್ ದ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇಫ್ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಲ್ವನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಶೋಸ್ 0 ಡಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇವೆರಡು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇವೆರಡು ಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. This 2 will be series C/2. This 2 will be series C/2. C/2 ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಸಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈ ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಪ್ಪ ನಾನು. This is 10 microfarad. 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 ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ ಧನಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂದಿದೆ? ಸೇಮ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 10 ಮೈಕ್ರೋಫ್ಯಾರಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆನೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಎಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ವೀಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್. ಇದು ವೀಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್. ನಾನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ
ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ. ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಲ್ವಾ? ಇವಾಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇದು 5 ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ, ಇದು 10 ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ, ಇದು 10 ಇದೆ, ಇದು 20 ಇದೆ, ಈ ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಇವೆರಡು ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು? ಇವೆರಡು ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇವೆರಡು ಸೀರೀಸ್, ಇವೆರಡು ಸೀರೀಸ್. These 2 capacitors ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್. ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇರೋ 2 ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರು ಸೀರೀಸ್, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ 2 ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರು ಸೀರೀಸ್, ಅವೆರಡು ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ? ಸೊ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮೋರ್ ದನ್ 35-38 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 50. ಈ ತರ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. 1 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಆನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದಪ್ಪ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ? 2 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ದು ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸಿಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಧನಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ? ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ? ಇದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಯಾ, ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಗುಡ್. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ದಿ 2 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸಿಸ್. 2 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದ 4th ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಪ್ಪ. ವಿಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್. ವಿಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದ 4th ಪೇಪರ್, ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಪೇಪರ್. ಓಕೆ,
ಫಸ್ಟ್ PU ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬೇಕು ಸರ್.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಇದು ಬೇಕಾ? ಸರಿಯಪ್ಪ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನಾನು 2 ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ 1 ದಿನ ವಿಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸಿಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಇದು 4 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. 4 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸಿಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇನೆ.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll stop at this stage. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.